back to another episode of Footballin with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and I am joined here, as always, with Ben Roethlisberger. But Ben, before we get into everything, you might notice that I'm dressed as a koala. And the reason why I'm dressed as a koala, because tonight is a very special episode. Tonight is our Halloween fan-fueled episode. All right, we are watching Sunday Night Football right now. We have the Bills and the Packers who are playing right now. It's the night before Halloween. And as I previously stated, Ben, I'm dressed as Australia's favorite bear. You, on the other hand, I'm not sure what you're dressed as. What do you got going on here, Ben?
Do you know about the suit?
I don't know about that suit.
Not many do. And I'm going to tell a story tonight, live and exclusive to the millions watching live around the world, that probably only my wife and my agent know about this flight suit.
An exclusive.
I actually got this. Yeah, this is a true story.
That's a real suit. That's a real flight suit.
It is. It's a real flight suit. I actually got this in Miramar. I was down at Top Gun. And as I was going to Miramar, it was like I was on the highway to the danger zone. Mm. I was actually in the Top Gun class.
Wow.
With Maverick, Goose, Ice, Slider, all those guys. And I call sign Dragon. Co-pilot was Mango, hence Mango Dragon.
Deep cut.
Yeah, we did a lot there. And honestly, I was there on one particular training when we were out trying to get Jester. And I must say this, that we got Jester too. Mango and myself. I know that everyone talks about Top Gun the movie. I wasn't in that because I actually got drafted to the Steelers, so I wasn't able to finish Top Gun class. But we got Jester, and I actually was the first one to say, Jester's dead. And then of course Maverick takes that from me.
What a jerk.
It's unbelievable. But I was inverted one time going through the mountains down there in San Diego, and chasing Jester through there. It was a crazy scene and everything. And Mango's back there. You got him, Dragon, you got him. And it just, I was thinking like, take my breath away.
Wow.
Is what I was feeling through that whole moment. But
wow.
It's actually that people don't know too. I actually met Ashley during this time.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the beach. We're playing volleyball in my jeans.
Yeah.
No shirt.
That. You do that.
Yeah, Southern California, super hot in the middle of summer, but I had my jeans on.
Yeah.
Taped up my wrist and my hands.
Makes sense.
You saw that part in the movie, I think. But I saw Ashley over there reading a book and went over, started talking to her, and that's how we started dating. And like I said, I didn't get to finish, unfortunately. Had to go, to another job, play for the Steelers. But that's where the suit came from. So.
Wow.
Everyone knows, yeah. So Dragon, call sign Dragon.
Call sign Dragon. Well, dude, thank you for sharing that. That must have been hard to share, especially, having to relive all of that and having,
That's where my love of Coors Banquet came from too. We'd sit out there on the west on the beach, and we'd drink our banquet. So thanks Coors Banquet for a long time supplying the banquet for the boys.
Brother, you're an American hero.
So anyway, enough about that. I don't want to talk more about that. We get serious into this episode now, and let's talk a little bit about the game. Let's thank Waikia Water.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Oops.
Yeah, here you go.
Waikia Water,
you know what?
Thank you.
Why don't you drop it right there on that coaster right there? Look at this. Waikia.
This?
Waikia, Cam.
Boom. Thank you. So thank Coors Banquet. We are not sponsored by Coors Banquet yet. Or anyone for that matter, but maybe we're gonna keep drinking it because we really enjoy it, and maybe someday we'll be blessed enough to
one day
just have. Could you imagine if we were sitting down here and like this truckload of Coors Banquet came?
It'd be like a commercial when they come in and like the train comes in and it's all like snow and it's refreshing.
Be amazing.
Wow.
Be amazing. So, I'm excited for this week's episode. We'll talk briefly about the game today.
Yes.
The Keystone Battle right against the Eagles.
Yes.
And then we will get into some fan questions and make this about the fans. As you can tell, we've got the Halloween going on. We've got the pumpkin here was by Bodie. Let me turn this. Can you see it? I don't know which way to turn it. He just went traditional. The old triangle eyes, triangle nose.
Hey.
Little teeth. The big boy back here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that's Bailey. That's Bailey's design. I had to carry that thing down here. It weighs about 95 pounds at least.
This angle does not do it justice. That pumpkin is so big in real life. Look at that thing.
I mean, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's gigantic.
People don't know you guys actually grew these pumpkins.
Oh, of course we did.
Look at you.
These pumpkins were grown at the farm. We actually have Benjamin's is out on the front porch. It was even bigger than hers, so I couldn't carry it down. But yeah, we had a bunch of these, and we carved them yesterday out at my parents' place. Had my little nephew out there, and my sister and her husband, and all the kids. So it was a pumpkin carving kind of night last night. So we wanted to bring them down to the festivities, and the kids and Ashley made these amazing candy corns. It's got some cheese balls on the top, some butter popcorn in the middle, and then some like caramel kind of corn at the end. So maybe we'll dive into these guys later.
Got the snacks on deck.
And we have other snacks coming too.
Oh.
Thank you, Ashley.
This is the most, I'm going to say this, man. This is the most festive Halloween thing that I feel like I've done all year. And I think to celebrate, we should jump into our first beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll talk about this battle with some Eagles. Well, I don't know if it's a battle. We'll talk about the game that was played today at 1 o'clock. All right. So here's
I'm going to stay in character as it's actually not character. I'm just going to stay as my as Dragon for a little while.
I mean, that's how I know you.
Yeah. Call sign Dragon.
That's actually how we met. People have asked about that. Actually, that was
like,
someone we did. Hey man, well don't.
Sorry, that was bad.
That's all right. Hey, get it out.
I tried to do a dragon. I used to be able to do a great dragon.
What was the
call.
dragon?
I don't know. I'm the dragon.
I know with the call sign.
Well, I used to have it like I can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, don't bring up.
You're right.
Hey, don't bring up old stuff.
I apologize.
I know.
Sorry.
It's a tough time.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So this first beer. All right. I will say this. I believe is the right one. This was given to us by our good friends Tim and Tyler over at Creekside.
Boom. Creekside. Thank you guys.
Yes,
they
sir.
have been awesome. Thank you, Creekside, for helping with not just the beers that we're going to try tonight. Thankful for that, but obviously the people that are sending stuff in. Remember, beers only, please. And we appreciate all those. We can't wait to try some. We got a few more this week that we get to try. So
yes,
excited for that. Thank you. But thank you, everybody at Creekside. You guys are the best. If you ever need beer, go to Creekside, pick up your beer. Yeah. And actually what's super dope is this is actually part of Tim and Tyler do this thing. They call it like a TNT pack. And they exactly. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Absolutely. And they essentially pick 4 of their favorite beers of the week and make it a pack, and you go pick it up. So we got this week's one. This is from 4 Points Brewing out of Charlotte. What is it's? I guess quasi local Charlie Leroy. You gotta read that, dude. I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on. I'm the worst. Oh yeah. That's all. You know. Charleroi. Yeah, down by the thing. Charleroi. That's gotta be Charleroi. Charleroi. PA. If I'm right, give me a thumbs up. If I'm right, nailed it. If I'm wrong, if I didn't, well, give me a thumbs up for trying. Yeah, you've come to expect Charleroi. That. Yeah, so it is an IPA. What is this? Oh, an IPA to start? Yes, sir. We're gonna go. I think today, in honor of Halloween. Okay. I believe we have it's all IPA day today. Oh, yeah. IPA day. Yep. It was either that or stouts. We can change it. That was smart. This is a good move. Okay, IPA. Okay, we didn't want this to be our last ever episode. This would be a terrible. This would be a terrible one to end on. Oh, the last time that we do this, we're dressed like this. Yeah. What's wrong with the way we're dressed? I mean, what's wrong with the way you're dressed? That's what I'm getting at. You look great. You look great. I look like a furry. What is your what are you guys going as? What's the family going as? 3 little bears. I got an 11-month-old daughter. We're gonna all of us have this costume. I can't wait. That'd be so amazing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it's Indian Pale Ale, 7%, and 0 other information. Oh, nailed it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's know what you think. I like the smell. I think it's called Ann Nelson. Smells like an IPA. Yep. From 4 Points. Oh. Okay. They didn't have the the flavor development always gets me, man. It didn't have the initial. Then hold on. It's got a weird ending. Do you taste that? Like rubbing alcohol a little bit or something? I don't get that. No, rubbing alcohol. I mean, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's. Yeah, it's from my beard. I put a little rum and alcohol in my beard. No.
It tastes like pineapple.
Well, I get that right away. But
Yeah.
it doesn't have a weird, like,
Not weird.
Not weird. Weird is not the right word. An unusual finish.
Nice adjective, man. I like. It almost tastes like a mimosa to me.
I think here's what I think it is. I think I've discovered it and uncovered it. I think the finish is a 7% finish.
Oh, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Does
like
that
a
make
high
sense?
ABV. Yeah.
I'm tasting the stronger alcohol because the beginning, when it hits your lips, the beginning of your tongue and your teeth, it tastes like an IPA.
Yeah.
And then as it goes to the back, and then it starts to be like, okay, it tastes stronger than a normal IPA. So that's what I think it is. I think it's the high percentage, and that's about as detailed as you can get from anybody. So any connoisseurs out there that want to use that, you can.
Oh, dude, I was just gonna say, brother, I know like we don't really know what you're talking about, but I feel like you nailed that beer breakdown.
That's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Nailed it.
Wow. Impressive. And only took 10 episodes.
I mean, I'm learning. Thank you, people, for your comments and teaching me and teaching us how to do this. I feel like I'm an expert all of a sudden. You don't taste the alcohol at the end, like the strongness?
I really don't. I get like pineapple juice.
The whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I can get down with that, brother.
Yeah, I like pineapple juice too.
No, but like I feel like typically with IPAs, that's what like turns me off from drinking more than one. I'm like, I'm kind of just chilling on that. But like that is.
I like it. No, I like it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just.
How would you rate that out of 10? 4 points. And Nelson, I think, is what. Oh, go ahead and drop that in the beer.
Yeah, put it.
Beer cam.
Beer cam. See, this is how we're moving up.
Look at us, guys.
We now have a beer cam.
Are we kind of impressed on how we did that, guys?
Man, you guys are welcome.
So yeah, how would you rate it out of 10?
The beer can. I feel like that's a Brendan Conley thing, isn't it? Didn't he? Offer that? I mean, I feel like it might be. He's just so smart like that.
He is a genius.
One of the smartest people I know. So
wow. Thanks, Brendan.
Yeah, thanks for watching, Brendan. Thanks for giving us the beer cam idea.
Yeah.
I would give it a drinkable 6.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just a little over. You know, I could drink that whole thing, no problem. I'm not going to drink a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And 6 is not a negative by any means. People probably think like, it's barely over average. But no, it's good.
Yeah, but you can't be given like 9s and 10s either. You know what I mean?
No. That's like the white buffalo.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. This might be the course bank. Yeah, I would co-sign the drinkable 6. I think that's I might push it to a 6.5, but also I'm not a huge IPA fan, so that's I think that's a great one. So I think it's a great first beer, and I think before we jump into these fan questions, let's do a little bit of breakdown of this game. So okay. I'm watching the game today. I was a little bit late to it, so I didn't catch. I'm
bringing my phone in because I actually took notes.
Did you?
I did.
My man,
we can talk about because I want to make sure that I give the fans everything. But go ahead. Sorry, let me interrupt you.
I didn't catch. It was Chase's touchdown, I guess, that he threw to Derek. I didn't catch that one. I caught that on replay, but I got to the game shortly after that. And then the rest of the game, there wasn't really much. There really, for me, it was just a lot of frustration. What were your initial thoughts watching that?
Yeah, it was. Listen, going into the game, obviously Philly's one of the best teams in all of football. Mm-hmm. But it's football. I mean, this football season so far has been crazy. Like anybody can win and anything can happen. So, it was frustrating to watch because I really felt like there might be a chance. Like this could be like Philly could overlook them.
Right.
Pittsburgh might go in and be ready to go. Like who knows? But it was crazy because early on, they got after Kenny sack. One of the early plays, I think the first series. Was a pretty gnarly sack where he got kind of hit up top, and luckily his feet were out of the ground because there was some people by his feet as well. And that's usually how injuries happen. But it kind of turned into one of those days where they just were kind of getting after it. And it reminded me, and I think it was 2008. We played in Philadelphia. And this is a true story. I got sacked 8 or 9 times, which is unheard of to get sacked that often. We lost the game, obviously. And I remember coming home on the plane and like calling Brett Kiesel like not on the like once we landed, I think I called him and I'm like, I don't want to like, I don't even want to go home right now. Like, it's just, I just, can I come talk to you? This is late, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember going over to his house and we had a couple of beers and sitting down there and being like, I'm so sore, so beat up. You know, we talked about the Tom Brady thing, not wanting to be out there. Like, I think that was me. And I told him, like, I don't even know if I want to play football anymore. Like, I was so beat up. I mean, if you get hit, you get hit a lot of the game. So that's 8 or 9 sacks. That doesn't include times you get hit when you throw the ball away or throw a pass. And so I remember thinking, like, man, I don't even want to play football anymore after this game. So that was my Philly, like one of the worst Philly things I've ever been a part, like Philly games. And so it kind of like made me think of that earlier, that the game was maybe going to turn to that, like just the way him getting hit and stuff. But, I don't think he got sacked that many times, but I think the game probably felt that way at the end. Like, gosh, we're getting beat up a little bit here. Yeah,
the times that he did get sacked, though, man, they were some pretty gnarly hits, bro. Like,
yes.
There was one.
Big ones.
Yeah. I think Hargrave was got after him, and then it just felt like he ran to a brick wall. I was like, Kenny. Oh, dang, man.
Well, it was, I mean, their first touchdown, it was a deep pass. Minka's there, and I'm like, I'm seeing the whole thing unfolding, and I'm like, pick, and then he goes up and makes the catch, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Minka makes that play 9 out of 10 times, in my opinion, and he just so happened he didn't make it that time. Yeah, and literally I was watching it like, this is going to be picked off, like there's a no brainer, and somehow the guy made a play on it, and it's just like, it was like one of those. It felt like, wow, it's going to be one of those kind of days, like where that's supposed to happen and this, that, and the other. But that was, to me, one of the craziest things that I just was like, no, Minka's going to make this play. He always makes this play. And it just didn't happen for whatever reason. Yeah, I felt that way a couple of times, man. We're like, I just felt like he was just out of reach on a couple of those plays, but not just him, man. I felt like it was everybody today, man. Like the offense, it just felt like it just wasn't on the same page. What did you see on the defensive side of the ball that stood out to you? Well, I mean, I think that play, just being there, and there were a couple other plays. I mean, I think that same guy, he had 3 touchdowns and almost had 4. Minka caught him. Yeah, Minka caught him on the one and tripped him up. Great effort by Minka, not giving up. It just felt like when you're giving up big plays for touchdowns. At one point, I remember watching. I say when you give a big play for touchdowns, that really hurts. But at one point in that game, they hadn't even had a red zone play, and then they said, this is their first play in the red zone, and they handed it off for a touchdown, and it's like, oh yes, holy cow! So it was just, it had to be frustrating for those guys out there too. It's like, we just can't do anything, we can't stop them, and I know it gets frustrating as a defense. I've seen defenders get mad and frustrated when the offense isn't doing anything, right? And they're like, will you guys do something? And sometimes offense is mad at defense. We all stop them. Right. So there can be some of that, but it was just, man, I don't know. It was tough to watch. Yeah, I heard one writer after the fact say, like, there was nothing. I was a sports writer. Said there was nothing hopeful or promising about that game. He goes, nothing. I was like, dang, cuz. Like, I know it's your job. Like, so that being said, is you're looking at the offensive side of the ball, like I'd mentioned before, like it just didn't seem like we were on the same page. It felt like it, there was a couple routes where, Kenny's overthrown or receivers aren't ending up where the ball is going. Was there anything that you can pick that you liked from the offensive side of the ball, or in what were some of the notes that you took from that side? Well, I'm just say Josh Allen just threw a touchdown at the end of the first quarter. You guys will see it. And I want it to be known that I said it here first. You did. To the worldwide audience watching this live, I called him my league MVP, right? Yeah. Okay. And what else did you call? I think I said the Bills win it all. Yes. Right? But yes, you did. Whether they do or don't, I think that dude's the MVP. But he's just, gosh, he's playing with confidence, and he's a really good football player. So congratulations, Mr. Allen. But watching the offense today, here's what I liked. Here's what I thought was good. I thought they put together some drives, which they've done that the last 2 weeks now. They've put together 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 play drives, which is not easy to do. The problem is they kept stalling out. And, I heard Kenny say during his press conference today afterwards that, when you have that many plays, at some point you got to expect something bad to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't know you need to expect something bad to happen, but be confident and positive in the fact that you're putting those together. Mm. You're able to drive the ball down the field. Now it's just a matter of what we're doing in the end zone. How we get in the end zone? What are we doing in the red zone? Yeah. To me, if I'm the coordinator, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. You've got nothing to lose. I'm literally saying, I'm throwing the ball deep on first, second, and third down. Like I'm just saying, listen, I'm letting it go. I'm not throwing the 5-yard pass. I'm not throwing the 3-yard pass right now. And it doesn't have to be a deep, like 7-step drop. Like I know you worry about protection. You can catch it and throw a ball 10 to 12 yards downfield, and they can do more with it. And they took some shots today, which I know everyone was, talking about. We got to take shots. We've got to do this down the field. They did do that, but to me, it felt like it was just too few and far between. And I know some people are saying, I heard Chris Hoke say it on the post game, like they need to identify, be a run team and run it. I think Coach Cower said you got to run it, especially with a rookie. I get it. I understand what y'all are saying, but at this point, it's time you got to start doing something different.
Sure.
Now I expect nothing different than Coach Cower either. He's a run it kind of guy, but right, Coach. But I think that you gotta and I know, so what happens is sometimes you have what you call check with me's, and you have a run pass play. If it's a too high safety, usually you want to run into that because there's two guys high and you want to hand the ball off and try and gain your yards. If it's single high, that's when you want to throw it. So people would probably say, well, if you throw on a first, second, third, what if they're in a too high safety? That's no good to throw it. Well, then what you do is you design every single play where you have someone running down the middle so you can hit that in the middle of the cover 2 safety. So I would just do it I would do it first, second, third down just to start. You got weapons. Your best players are on the outside. Get them involved. Pickens didn't have a catch that I don't think. He had a couple opportunities, but didn't catch one.
Well, I think he did catch that one, but
I'm going to get to that too because Mike Tomlin should have challenged that play. They talked about it. I mean, Jim Nantz is on the TV saying,
dude,
why? Like, challenge it. What? Like, you have a guy. There's supposed to be a guy telling you challenge it.
Okay, so that was my question because what's the protocol on that? Because the amount of time between when he caught it,
plenty of time,
and they snapped the ball for the next down. I'm like,
usually you're hustling because he didn't catch it and you want to get the ball, but you had all the time in the world. Like, why is someone not in your ear telling you, and you're not doing anything on offense? Yeah. Like that is a big play that you need to have. So you need to challenge that. I mean, do something like it, just whatever it is. But, anyway, I would just take those shots down the field. I would do it 3 straight plays and do it like more often. Like, just do it. Like, who cares? What do you have to lose?
Sure.
Yeah. He might get hit, but protect it. Keep a tight end in or have your back blocked so you have extra time. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying you need to have the big drops and the big 3 or 4 second hold it's. You can throw go balls at 10 to 12 yards and that's 2 seconds. Yeah. Just get the ball up and out.
Do you have an opinion on Kenny's throw count? Because that's something that's been kind of thrown into the conversation. It's like, man, you got a rookie QB in here and he's throwing way too much.
Listen, there's going to be people saying, how many runs are there for a running back? And there's all those things. If he can throw it, he's a quarterback in the National Football League. He's supposed to be able to throw. You've got a million throws in your arm. Just go ahead and do it. Like, you got to find a way. And I'm gonna say this again. Your best weapons are on the outside. Your skill position, get them the ball. Like wide receiver screens, I get it. Like you can mix things in there, but you need to throw the ball down the field 3 straight plays. And you know what? If you don't get a first down, you might get a penalty. You might get a first down. You might not. You might punt and come back the next series. I'd do it again. And I'm sure Pittsburghers don't want to hear that because they want to smash mouth and run it. Yeah. I would go and I would just take the shots and you have to do something because nothing's working right now. I mean, Najee isn't getting much going on. I mean, I think he had his longest run of the season today at 16 or 18 yards.
18, yeah. When they dropped that stat, like, man, Pittsburgh hasn't had a 20-yard run. I was like, I'm like, Tony, why you say that? Why you got to say that on national TV, man? We know you ain't got to air us out like that, bro.
Jaylen Warren was your leading rusher. I mean, at one point, Pickett was your leading rusher. Then I know.
I know, man.
He's a rookie. He's running hard.
Yeah, dude.
Give him some more touches or something. Maybe Najee's hurting, and so this kid's not hurting you.
You're right.
So give Najee some rest or something. But
yeah, man.
They have a bye week coming, which is always huge, right? A lot of changes can happen in the bye, and that could be offensive philosophies. You can get healthy. You can do whatever it may be. I know people are calling for coaching changes and this, that, and the other. Keep that there. Figure it out, work through it, and get it going for coming out of the bye week.
Yeah, you mentioned offensive philosophies. What do you mean by that? Can you expound on what that change would look like?
Well, what I just talked about. Yeah. Take some shots down the field. Figure out what's working and what's not working. Spend the time breaking down what plays are working, what plays aren't working. The plays that aren't working, throw them out.
Should have done that week 2, cuz week 2 should have.
When we would struggle offensively, we would take a week or two and say, listen, let's go back to basics. Sometimes less is better. Like sometimes, as an offense, you want to fool and trick and do all this stuff. But sometimes just like doing your stuff that you're comfortable with, the base offense, the stuff that you can play fast and confident with and no penalties, sometimes that's as good as anything you can draw up, in the classrooms and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by that. I'm not saying let's throw the offensive playbook out the window, but figure out what's working and what's not. And if things are working, find a way to keep them going. Yeah,
I think Merrill mentioned that when he was here, and I thought that was great. Obviously just not knowing the game like Merrill, he's like a wizard, talking about having that 6-pack.
Yeah.
I don't remember where he said he got that language from, but I was like, yeah, I feel like in any form of leadership, if you're trying to accomplish anything with a team, you have to have some kind of core principles or core executions, and whatever you're doing, you're like, hey, if it hits the fan and we got to get flexible, we know we do this well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think that there is anything that you see in the current offense you would say, hey, man, y'all doing this well, keep that in your playbook?
I'd have to look at it a little bit closer. In watching the game today, no.
Yeah, no.
Be honest. I'd like to say, okay, their wide receiver screen's working, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It seems like some of the plays that worked were late in the game, trying to run the draw with Warren and stuff like that. But you've got to start working. Pat in the middle of the field, you see it works. The one pick was work in the middle of the field, the ball got tipped.
Yeah.
But you've got to start working the middle a little bit. Run some in routes or dig routes or basics, whatever you want to call them. Get guys crossing, get guys running shallows to get those playmakers the ball running. If you don't want to take your shots down the field, find a way to get them the ball running fast and running away from people. If you got man, and so it's just, to me, it's the middle of the field needs to be to look at a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, man. And you obviously we got a bye coming up. Where do you see us going from this? So you have that break, but then you're taking New Orleans, and I don't know what New Orleans' record is.
Yeah, I think New Orleans beat the Raiders today.
Yeah,
but you're at home. You get that bye week. It's this is an opportunity. You've got to come out of this bye week ready to play. And they'll be ready to play. Coach will have them ready to go. I expect Cam and TJ might be back.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I expect those guys to really challenge guys and have them ready to go. So we'll see. You can't be. I think the stat was 1 of 12 on third down. You can't do that. It's just. It's unacceptable.
They were like 3 for 3 though on fourth.
Yeah, there you go. Kick to the third, get the fourth.
Silver lining.
So those are. I don't know all the stats, but that was third downs are huge. You got to find a way.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, speaking to Kenny, I'm sure it was a little bit of an emotional game in the sense I think he's from really close to there. They said like either Philly or somewhere I think he had like 30. I heard him say 30 people come to the game or 30 tickets or something. So that means he played for free.
Yeah, right.
Because he had to buy all those tickets, so he played for free today. But having all those people there, I'm sure was neat. But maybe a little bit. I'm sure he would have wished it would have been a little bit different of a game, than what it was. But
was he grew up an Eagles fan? They say. I'm saying being that close to that, or
I didn't hear him say it.
Cool. All right, man. Well,
maybe enough about the game. I don't know.
You don't want to talk. You don't want to talk anymore.
No, we can. Those are. I'd like to. Do you have any more questions?
I have. So for the
just for from the game today.
No, man. It's tough because I feel like we didn't. Typically, I'm texting you stuff, asking questions during the game. And, today, because we our family rolled in a little bit late to be able to catch it. So, but no, I'm curious about a whole bunch of stuff, but the stuff I'm curious about, I don't want to beat a dead horse, man.
Yeah,
it was not a good game, bro. Listen, and I know that, they know that, y'all know that. It was what it was, man. So.
Well, that's kind of that's why the bye is coming now. And sometimes when you get to this bye week, you say, okay, listen, it has been a rough first quarter, rough month. And it's like, listen, we can sit here and talk and the guys will be reading, I'm sure, and hearing about it from the media, from friends, social media. But at some point it's just like, listen, we know,
right?
We know we didn't play well, but it's also over. It's time to reset everything during the bye and move on.
Yeah, no, I thought that when they come back, they do their post game pressers, man. I always think that when the media's ask them questions, and I understand the media's got a job to do. You got to write something, right? But I'm like, dog, what do you want them to say, man? You know what I mean? Like they keep asking these questions. Well, what needs to change? Well, what needs to change? And again, man, we're sitting here, asking the same type of questions, but at some level, so you have the bye coming up that hopefully that will give some kind of energy to, or refocus. But trade deadline is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think that's going to affect or impact us at all?
The Steelers have never been, and I'm sure people will tell me that I'm wrong because they'll know somebody, but the Steelers, in my opinion, have never been a team that have done much in season.
Right.
Free agency wise, trading, like that stuff. So I wouldn't anticipate anything changing, but there is a new GM. Maybe they've also probably never been in the situation with the record and stuff. So maybe they'll make some splash. They'll do something, but you also have to realize too, if Charlie was here, we'd have a good laugh with this. You have to realize if they do make a trade or if something happens, depending on what they do, will tell you what their plan is for the future, for the rest of the season.
Interesting.
Here's what I say. If they go get somebody, I can't even tell you who they would go get. Like, say they went and traded for, I don't know, Josh Allen. I mean, something. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to. But
is Josh Allen up for trade?
No, but you know what I'm saying. Say you're going to get somebody that's going to help you. Then you're like, okay, they're in it right now. Like they want to try and turn this thing around. They're ready to go, which could be hard anyway. I don't know what They're not out of it by any means either. But if they end up trading someone away, a starter, a player, then you start realizing, okay, what they get in return? They get a draft pick in return, something for the future. Then to me, that says, you know what? We're just going to put our chips. Sure. We're going to pull our chips on back. I know when to hold them, know when to fold them. But that's just, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't anticipate them making any moves because they never have in the past.
Right.
But we'll see.
What point in the season would you make that decision? Not necessarily like, hey man, let's just build till next year. Because I think about that even with TJ coming back. Yeah. TJ's the kind of cat from what I know is like that dude just wants to eat. Like you put him, he always wants to play, he always wants to. But like at some level, I'm like, dog, at what point in the season you saying, yeah, man, why don't we just hold off? Or
well, the hard part is, as players, you'll no matter what the record is, you'll never feel that. You'll never want to stop.
Sure.
Coaches in front office might have a different feeling, but as players, you never wanted to stop that. And listen, this defense is really good. I know it. They gave us some points today and whatever, but this defense is really good. They're not getting younger either, though.
Yeah.
And this is obviously a very young offense. So this defense is not going to want to wait, start over, do whatever, But
I see, dude, I feel like that with the entire team. I feel like the amount of talent that is sitting there, like there's just something. There's something that just needs to fall into place or a rhythm. I feel like, man, the receivers you have, obviously, Kenny can play. Like there's just, we're missing something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I need to give a big shout out to my boy Derek Watt catching a touchdown today. My boy D-Dub.
What's up, 44?
Yeah, Chase throwing it with the lefty, which I think we talked about on this podcast. I said when you have trick play with Chase, it goes left. He throws it left-handed. What do you know? We call it. But awesome. Good job, Derek. That was awesome. I think I just realized too that our jack-o'-lantern here is not lit.
This one?
Yeah.
See, people, was it?
No, I blew the candles.
Sorry, guys. This is a real amateur production we got going here.
Sorry, buddy.
We're going to light it mid show. Hey, well, like I said, I know we talked about the game for a good minute, but I thought it was probably needed to be done. Yeah. Because we would have done that whether or not we were filming.
Look at that.
Look at that. Ooh.
Be much
okay.
Hey, are we getting another beer?
Yeah, we are.
Hold on.
Okay.
Before we do that,
all right.
I need to bring.
What do you have over there?
One of our snacks in.
We got Halloween themed snacks, folks.
Do I put it in the camera here?
Yeah, go for it.
These are mummies. You can see the mummies. Hot dog.
They have little eyes.
With the little candy eyes. Made by Ashley Bailey. I think Benjamin Bodie, everyone helped. So we're going to help ourselves to one of these bad boys before we have our next one.
That is amazing.
Before we start doing
Ash and the kids made these.
Yeah, they did.
Man. I will say this. People probably don't know this. So, and this has been one of the questions on the fan questions, which we will get to for the rest of the episode. We're just going to knock out some fan questions. But they asked how you and I know each other. But I will say this because people probably don't know this about you is that you guys are probably one of, if not the most festive people that I know. Like when around Christmas time, like this place is a winter wonderland. Like you have like Four Christmas trees.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
Chris, what are you, the Grinch?
I hate setting it all up and taking it
Oh,
off.
yeah. I would hate that too. But I mean, you walk in, you got these ginormous life-size pumpkins over here. Like Cinderella's about to walk out of this mug, right? Coming Thanksgiving, it's a beautiful rustic. Like you guys,
we like the host.
And you're very good at it. And this is proof. This
blah, blah,
mummy
blah.
with eyes. What are the eyes? Are those edible?
Candy.
So I can eat those?
Yeah, but we might break your teeth.
Should I try?
Those are hard.
Yeah. That would have been delicious if it wasn't covered in mustard.
Oh,
That's disgusting.
oh yeah. She stuck the eyes with mustard first. These are good though.
Yeah, brother.
Okay.
Mommy dogs, what's up? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
At every point
Footballin.
in time, like at some point in time in every episode, this turns into like an ASMR, like food, like into the mic, chewing into the microphone podcast.
Sorry, everybody.
Hey, man, it's worth it.
How did Buffalo just score again? I mean, you blink an eye and they score.
What do you mean? How? Josh Allen's an animal.
Josh Allen, yeah.
All right. So, in honor of the fan field episode.
Oh, they're good.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Oh, I thought I was going to embarrass myself again. We have a beer from a listener.
Oh, thank you.
This comes out from, and hey, Rod. His name, Rod. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Wetsch. That's the best I got.
We'll stick with Rod. Hey, thanks, Rod.
The homie Rod from Minoy or Minot, North Dakota.
Hey, North Dakota. Thanks for listening, North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Do we have all 50 states listening, I wonder? Watching and listening?
Let me check the numbers.
That'd be cool.
I think so.
That'd be awesome. Let's
Yeah.
make that happen. But thanks, North Dakota.
North Dakota. This is from Rod sent in a double juicy IPA.
A double juicy.
Yeah, dog, and it's got some like old school like punk rock like design. We'll put it in the beer can. Yeah, it's from Half Brothers Brewing Company from Grand Forks. I've been to Grand Forks. It's a good town.
People in North Dakota, they like talk like Dakota. They have a little accent or no?
They do. So you want to hear a funny story about North Dakota?
Yeah.
So actually, I was in Wisconsin. All right, and I weirdly enough, I was. I got one right here for you.
Well, you gave me this one already.
Oh, yeah, that's on me. I'll take that one. We were staying with a chiropractor, but he was actually Aaron Rodgers' chiropractor.
Oh.
Yeah, and he had this great farm.
Okay.
It was huge. It was super snowy. It was like in the dead of winter. And he was asking us, because we were on tour, he goes, hey, where are you guys going next? And we're like, oh, we're going to Grand Forks, North Dakota. He goes, oh, North Dakota. There ain't nothing to do in North Dakota. While I'm looking out, and you can't see civilization from where we're standing. I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. But North Dakota was awesome.
Okay.
So this is a double juicy Indian pale ale. It's called Garage Band King. Oh, yes, my people. All right, this is.
I keep forgetting. I got to slow down.
Hey, man, do you? Hey, I'll give you this, and I'll try to find. I don't have bios on these because these are all sent in. So I will say this. Here, go ahead and give that to the beer can. We'll let people check it out because it's a pretty
nice.
cool. It's a pretty cool label.
Hold on, let me give it a sipper first.
It's a double juice. This smells juicy. Here we go. Check that out. Like the old school.
Yeah,
CBGB.
Turn it a little bit. Just right.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong way.
There you go.
So it's like
Anything with skulls, I think, is cool.
Skull of Crown.
Yeah. Look at that.
Garage. We need like an automatic turn.
I know, man. We're basically, what is it, QVC? We're basically QVC right now. If you're listening to this just in audio, sorry, but we had a whole cool setup.
You missed so much of the show.
Yeah. So
I like that. It doesn't have as much pine. It doesn't hit you. Well, is it okay? You told me last IPAs.
Yeah. Very similar to the first one.
Yes, not
me.
as pineapple-y.
No.
To me.
No, I feel the same way. It is juicy though. It said it's a double juicy IPA.
Got like what was that one thing we had? The double what?
I don't know.
The double. What was that one week we were trying to figure out the double something?
Oh.
It wasn't a single double ball.
Double
double ball or something.
The double bock.
The double bock. Is it double juicy the same way?
Yeah.
You double juicy? Double bock?
Double bock. Trogs reached out, man. They have a triple bock. They invited us over there.
Let's go.
Let's go. What are we doing? Let's get out of here, man.
Let's go now. I like that. That's got a nice finish. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you, Rod. It is Rod.
Rod
From North.
from North
South.
Dakota.
Do you think North and South Dakota, like they have like this little rivalry, like they don't like each other?
Well, South Dakota has Mount Rushmore. So I don't know what North Dakota has. Well,
North Dakota has a garage.
yeah, what's up? Clear winner.
Yeah, that's hard to. Yeah, but do you think South Dakota like flaunts that? You want more?
Yeah, I'll take some.
Do you think South Dakota flaunts that?
I don't know. South Dakota, tell us.
Rushmore, what do you have?
I will say this. This is delicious. North Dakota, you've done a great job.
Yeah, I agree.
Half Brothers Brewing Company. Half Brothers.
Thank you.
Check them out. Definitely worth it. I enjoyed South Dakota well. I won't say better,
Yeah,
but South Dakota was awesome.
I just wonder if
Sioux
there's a little
Falls?
rivalry there.
What's up, Sioux Falls? Represent.
So if you're out there and if you are a North Dakotan or a South Dakotan,
Let us know.
let us know if you just like the other one.
We're getting to the bottom of it tonight. Which Dakota is better? Yeah.
All right, Spence, give me a
All
funny
right.
question.
So on
Give me one.
yesterday, I asked our followers on Instagram, which is a great reminder. If you're not already, go ahead and follow Footballin with Ben on Instagram. We do exclusive content. We do giveaways there. And we also do, we'll give you heads up on future episodes, questionnaires and stuff like that. So ask them, hey, if you have a question for Ben, you want to know something about his career, certain point in time, drop him in the comments. And this is what I got. There was probably over 600 comments and direct messages. So obviously we're not going to get through all those, but do you want to guess what was the number one question asked? Guess. I'll give you. Go ahead.
Are you really as cool in real life as you look on TV?
How did you know that? That was it. They're like, man, are you really that dope?
No, I would say they want to know my either favorite or least favorite place to play.
That was probably number 3. Yeah. You've actually already answered this question though. Yeah. The number one question that everybody.
Who hit me the hardest?
No, but that was up there. And we're going to get to both of those.
I already answered all those.
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever.
I'm gonna be honest.
Whatever for the fans.
Yeah. The number one question that was asked is, would you ever consider coaching or being an offensive coordinator? And I will say, you gave a great interview earlier in this podcast. If someone was looking for an OC, you broke down the offense very well. Have you done this before? Seems like you had some experience.
I think there's a lot of work involved with that. A lot of behind the scenes, a lot of film stuff, a lot of meetings. There's a lot involved with it. I would like to be a armchair coordinator. Just being honest, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there. I would I would not want that job just because it's just tough. And so I'll leave it to the experts. I've been blessed to play for some great coordinators. And there's an art to being a play caller. Okay. And people don't, you think it's just like, it's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to pick this play.
Right.
And it's the best play callers are actually thinking ahead a play or two. Okay. So first down, I have a play call. I'm calling the play in. In my mind, as a good coordinator, they will say, okay, before the play is even run, I've called the play in. Now the play is in. I see the quarterback go in the huddle. He's calling it. I'm going through my list. Okay, what could happen? I need a 2nd and 10 play because it's 1st and 10. I need a 2nd and 10 play in case this doesn't work. Say it's a pass play. Okay, it could be incomplete, so it could be 2nd and 10. I need another first down in case we pick up a first down here. And then one, if we, always have in your back pocket, if we get sacked, it's gonna be 2nd and long. Like what? So they're like a play or two thinking. Then when the play happens, okay, it's a sack or an incompletion, 2nd and 10. Well, I've got my play ready to go. I call my 2nd and 10 play, knowing, okay, now what happens? Incomplete, it's 3rd and 10. We take a loss, it's 3rd and long, so I have my 3rd and long call ready to go. So you have to think ahead and be ready to go. There are coordinators that I've seen that are reactive, right? You wait to see what happens, and then you call the play off of what happens. You can get by doing that, but you better have darn good football players.
Sure.
So being a proactive coach or play caller is very beneficial.
Listen, I don't want you to go into coaching because I understand the amount of time and energy that requires, and I would say it's probably, if not double, but close to double a player.
Yeah. Oh.
And I want you to be with your family and enjoy your life.
Sure.
But what you just said just made me think you'd be an even better offensive coordinator. So I don't think you've convinced anybody out of asking you to do that. But the answer to that question is a resounding
no.
All right. So now we know, folks. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Like a special consultant. No.
Yeah. Do you think the Steelers would pay to be an armchair? What is it, coordinator? Is that the position? No. Do you want to yell at the TV and then
we can give you our advice on my podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the podcast, that's a great question from Shoe42 on IG. Shoe42, thank you so much for watching and getting involved. What made you want to start a podcast?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know why. I still don't know why we're doing this.
I agree.
Well, to be honest, people ask all the time, like, what are you guys doing? We don't know. We're so amateur hour out here. There's no one else here. Like, there's no one. Spence produces it all. He does all the setup, all the tear down. I sit here and watch the game and drink beer while he sets up and tears down. Well, mostly tear down because setup, he comes over and starts setting up, and I'm still like getting the kids ready for bed. We're reading a bedtime story tonight.
But you think I come over to set up? I come over to eat.
He eats every time he comes.
Yes.
And that's fine. That's why we have you.
Yep.
But no, it's not like we've got this big production thing. Like we just lit our candle like of our pumpkin as we're going. I think that's what makes this thing special. But I think we've talked about a little bit, like you and I would sit down here all the time. I mean, once a week, once every other week, and we'd have other friends come too, but a lot of times it's just you and I. And we would sit here and we would just talk about football. We'd talk about your jobs. We'd talk about family. We talk about our faith. We talk about the future when you were having kids. I mean, all that stuff.
I told you were the first person I told I've had a kid. It was right here at this bar. Yeah.
Not live on the podcast.
No.
But no, we just sat down here so much. I think I wanted to wait till I was done playing, because we had talked about, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. I think. And it just didn't make sense to do it until I was done just because of the time and whatever. And so then it was like, you know what, let's just for fun, like give the fans like some insight to us, to me, to you, to our relationship, to my friendships with teammates and other people. And, it just seemed like something fun to give it a shot. We have zero plans. We don't know where this is going, what we're going to do with it, how long. I mean, we could end this thing today. Like it's our last episode. We have no clue. So we're just two goofballs just kind of having fun.
I mean, listen, man, I'm dressed like a koala and I'm a grown man.
Most of the time.
And and I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of dig this outfit.
It's got to be comfortable. I'm not sure about you, but I don't want to steal any thunder, but when I would fly at Miramar, like I would wear this outfit, just my drawers and just my undies.
Right.
But you know what I did wear? Keep that on the double.
Oh, hit it. Oh, hit him with the Crocs, the camo
Crocs and socks.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't change. Crocs, holla at us.
Brother, you put a good outfit together. Those match.
They do.
Look at you, my man.
Well, that way if I ever got shot down and I was in the jungle,
right,
they'll never see me. Never see my feet at least.
You're like a cat. You live 9 lives, dog.
Oh, I know.
Hey, man. Well, you did allude to something, and it was kind of the foundation of this podcast was us just chopping it up. People are curious how you and I know each other, and it's not a very exciting story. It's kind of like, how do you meet a friend? You know what I mean? But
it's a long. I mean, it is a long story.
It is,
but we can shorten it.
Yeah,
if we want. Are you telling, or do you want me to tell it?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, man. I think
you're not very quick in your talking.
No, I'm not very good at communicating.
That's why you're a professional communicator, because you don't talk quickly like I do. Right. I have to learn to slow down my speaking because for 20 some years. I only have like a 20-second play. Right, exactly. So I have to learn to talk fast.
I'm sorry, giving you delay of games.
Yes, I apologize to the fans when I talk fast. My wife says all the time, like, what did you just say? I'm like, I got to get it out. I don't have much time. Play clock's running down.
It's like, I feel like that was on you.
She's like, there is no play clock. Okay, sorry, sweetie.
Start looking around for it.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you have to. I can just hear BA in my ear. Get the play off. All right, sorry, BA. Anyway. Oh, great catch by the Packers at the end of the first half if it's a touchdown. Awesome. Spence was speaking at a I don't know how much detail we want to give, but was speaking at what would you call it, a group? I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like
it's a ministry.
Yeah, so I toured with a ministry that we did like one night conferences, right? And so I was a gospel presenter. So at the end of the night, I would go. We did like music, we did testimonies, and we were at the end of it.
Skits, they did all kinds of stuff.
So,
and Spence was at the time was one of the main speakers, or the main speaker. He gave this little like skit, speech, testimony type thing. And there were a bunch of like high school kids there. It was mostly for high school, middle school, high school,
college,
middle school. Not maybe not middle school, but one of my good friends, his daughter was in town. They were in town. His daughter's a high schooler, middle school at the time.
That's how I met them.
Yeah, you met them there. And so we went there to watch and just enjoyed his little skit. It had some Kevin Hart in it, like kind of like Kevin Hart like vibes.
Yeah, I didn't cuss.
Kevin's a friend. No. Clean Kevin Hart, and Kevin's a friend. So I told him afterwards, like, man, it felt like Kevin a little bit, and he's like, thanks. That's obviously a compliment in the sense that Kevin is pretty darn good at what he does. But and we just kind of like hit it off a little bit right there, a little bit, and then from there it just grew really fast and really strong friendship. I don't usually let people into my kind of circle, my friendship circle that fast, but it just I really felt like God was putting us together. I mean, I know that my wife and I were both praying for really good, wholesome, godly people in our lives, and we got that with our small group, which includes you and your wife, and it just was such a blessing to really have someone that it's so funny because we get along so well. People probably think we've been friends forever.
Right.
But really you're like almost, 7? How old are you? 32? 32.
Yeah.
So you're 8 years younger than me.
Yeah.
We're about opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of like
completely different people.
Everything.
Yes.
But yeah, we get along so much. And maybe that's why we get along so well, because we're, just completely different. But it just is. So that's kind of the very, very short story of how we met, and then just have, I don't know that there's probably more than 2 or 3 days goes by that we don't text or call or do something. So
I was texting you in Germany, my phone didn't work.
Yeah.
I was like, dog, you got to see this. Yeah, man, I think ultimately it comes down to that. It comes down to like finding people cut from the same cloth. And I think when you find that kind of person, like, I do think I'm going to fall into a mini sermon real quick and we'll move on because I want to get to more of these questions. But I do think it's really important for people to have that kind of community. So if you don't have that, I would encourage you to go find that.
Amen.
Because life's not meant to be lived alone. And so that was something that really happened quickly with us. And then, and I think that was also us being completely different people. It was, that's a sign of like, for us as Christians, like that unity, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't have, it's not sameness, it's oneness. And like, it was like, it was like, oh, that's big bro right there immediately. So,
and we have sat down here and been in tears at times. We have talked to each other about dang near everything. And just, it's been an awesome friendship. So one that'll last forever. I know that.
Yeah, man. So that's how, and that's why. And I'm sorry, as you were saying that very beautiful, sentimental thing, there was terrifying. So it's a Halloween broadcast of Sunday Night Football, and there was like a scare house, and so they're like terrifying images.
Coming back from commercial after Green Bay's touchdown. Just if you've got kids,
well,
I guess we're telling them like they're gonna watch this. Like you guys already know. It's like you guys won't get to see this game till tomorrow either. Like what's wrong with us?
All right. So what is you've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I remember when I interviewed the team doctor, Dr. Bradley, which was my favorite interview I've ever done. Hands down, my favorite interview. He said that he had to get a separate file cabinet just for your injuries.
Yeah.
What was the most pain? This is from 47 Mike. What was the most painful on-field injury that you had to play through?
Oh, wow. Well, I remember probably 2 that I can think of right off the top of my head. When I got my nose broke in Baltimore, Haloti Ngata's hand came right through here and busted my nose. I remember it was second down, I think, and he busted my nose. And I remember like I got blood coming down. I'm like, it hurts, but it's not like excruciating, right? But I'm like, gosh, that kind of hurts. And I remember like kind of wiping the blood, and I kind of remember feeling my nose. I'm like, I think I don't know. I think it's broke. Excuse me. And so we got third down. I stay in the game. I don't leave the game. Third down, I think we ran a draw or something. I come off the field and I was like, Doc, I'm like, is my nose broke? He's like, I don't know what to look at this is first half. We'll have to look at it at halftime. I can't really tell. We'll check it out when we get in there. So like, all right, fine. So we go in at halftime, and I go to the mirror, and my nose was plastered to my cheek. Like I could smell around the corner. Okay. I could smell around the corner. I'm like, Doc, really? really? You're not sure? He goes, well, I didn't want to freak you out there. I'm like, what? So we, crack it, put it back in place, put a visor on and play. When they pop that thing back into place, that's miserable. But so Dr. Bradley lied to me. But that one was kind of painful, but unique. My second year, maybe, I'm not sure. I had a meniscus, and the flap of my meniscus doubled over, and so it was like, it's supposed to be flat, and it like tore, and then it like doubled over. So between bone, it was like rubbing, and it really felt like every time I took a step, like someone stabbed me with a knife.
Oh, tight.
The weird thing was, is like if your knee did something unique, like your bones would be like this, and if it did something like it gained enough space, that flap would open back up, and it'd go back to you'd feel nothing. So it'd go from feeling like, like doc would be like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, I can't tell you. Like it feels perfect. To all of a sudden, like so much excruciating pain you can't even take a step like without getting stabbed with a knife, kind of. So that was a very unique injury. I remember when I broke my thumb, I thought the ball was flat. So I remember like handing the ball off or throwing it and be like, hey, get that. I told the equipment guys, like, get that ball out, it's flat. And they grabbed and they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. And I like was holding it, but my thumb was like broke. So it like gave, like the bone was broke right here. So my thumb, like I didn't have enough strength to hold it. So it felt like the ball was flat.
You didn't feel your thumb?
No, I didn't know I broke it. I mean, I thought something happened, but that's actually the year we won the Super Bowl. The first one, because I had to wear a glove.
Bro. You built different, bro.
But I thought the ball was flat. I thought that was unique. And then when I hurt my elbow, when I threw that one ball, it felt like when I threw I remember throwing it like in the game. I'm like, okay, I've got pain. Something's not right with my elbow, but I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. And then on the very last throw, when I let it go, it felt like the ligaments or something in my elbow, like it felt like it curled down to my hand. So it felt like something unwound, you stretch your rubber band out, and all of a sudden it goes zing, and it I was like, okay, that's not
like
right.
When they say like Achilles goes,
yeah, like something, like it just felt like something unwound on my hand. So I felt like I was way down here. So I went over to the doc and I was like, hey, something like it feels like this, and he's like, and he gave me this look. And I'm like, what? Like that's okay. I'm like, just let's get this thing figured out. He goes, Ben, you're not going back in. I'm like, why not? I said, I just hurts a little bit. Like, well, just He's like, Ben, you just like you I'm pretty sure you probably just tore like your ligaments off the bone. Like, you don't know that, Doc. He did. He knew it. So I'll give you credit, Dr. Bradley. You knew.
You looked your doctor in the eyes and said, man, you ain't know that.
I did. I told Doc, that's not right. You can't tell me that.
I want a second opinion. I'm going to their sideline. Get their guy over here.
So anyway, I know that was a lot. It's not just one, but that was a couple stories on a couple of them.
That's amazing. Well, this next one is from Molly O'Malley. Molly O'Malley. What is the story behind the Dilly Dilly play call?
I don't even know if I can remember that anymore. I mean, I remember doing, but
is there one? Or
yeah, it was just something stupid. We, that was obviously when all the Bud Light, the Dilly Dilly commercials were coming out, so it was a big thing, and we laughed about it. And I remember telling the guys, the linemen, at one point, if we're like winning the game, if we got a good, like we're up, so it's not gonna be like a chance of something bad happening. Right. I'm gonna make a Dilly Dilly call, and it means nothing. It's just like a dummy call. And so I remember doing it, and I think it was on like a Sunday night game, or like it was like a
prime time.
It was like a big time game, and it was like the camera was behind me, and you hear me go Dilly Dilly, and it really meant nothing. But it got so much airtime, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was just kind of a unique.
That's amazing. We used to do that on stage, but it was an improv game. So you would go because we would do 87, 88 dates a year, and you would do the same kind of performance. And so you get bored. And so before you go out, like the stage manager would be like, hey man, tonight you got to work in the phrase roll of quarters, go. And you just had to naturally say and you had to in work it in some way in your talk. You'd have to say roll of quarters.
That's crazy, meow.
Yeah. You saying meow or now?
Meow? Meow, is that meow or is that now? Hey, before we get to the next question, I'm going to get another Yellow Belly.
Well, let's do that. Hey, I'll take one of those. And and I'm
going to bring you another special treat. What?
Well, as you're doing that, I'll get this next.
Are you going to ask me a question while I'm walking away from the mic?
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? That's perfect for our podcast.
That is perfect. All right, Yellow Belly, and then I'm coming back with a treat too.
Yeah, I will say this. I think it's funny because we've had some commenters, say, hey man, like, why don't you do this at like a network? Well, Ben, if you want to do a a podcast or a show, like it'd be great to see you on, ESPN or something like that. And my only response to that is like, have you watched this show? Like, have you watched the production value of the show? Like, the ESPN ain't having none of this, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well.
I don't know. They might want this.
They might want this, yeah.
Us back here talking behind the camera.
Good for us. This next.
First and foremost, the yellow belly.
Yes, hit us with it. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for delivering this ice cold, refreshing Coors Banquet.
Of course.
What is this? Oh, give it to the beer can.
Oh, yeah.
Let the people see. Swap out.
Get out of here, garage band. You were good, though. Thank you. This
What do we have there?
is a Rice Krispie pumpkin.
Yes.
So it's orange, obviously. It's got a little Laffy Taffy green and a pretzel. This is made by the kids and Ashley.
Yes.
And this is our next treat.
That's amazing. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
This is like living your house as like a Disney Channel original movie. Y'all got like
I know.
Halloween themed snacks. I'm over here.
This is how we used to sit in our fly suits when we were like watching stuff.
Oh, sweet shirt, dude.
Oh,
What's
thanks. I
up?
appreciate that.
Little something. Little something.
No, this one.
Oh, that one right there. Oh, that one right there. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, this is sure we'd wear
Yeah, we
this one.
should. Hey, that reminds me. We should make shirts. We should make some kind of merch.
We
What do you
could
think
do
about that?
something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If the people want it.
All right. So this next beer I grabbed just because of the label, and I'm hoping they grabbed as well. So this is actually from. I'll tell you the brewery because we got it from a group called. It's slipping my mind. Actually, I should have wrote it down. Where's that hop joint? That do you have that upstairs?
Upstairs?
Yeah. But it's from CLAG Brewing Company.
Okay.
It's called Brotherly Love.
Brotherly Love.
Yes.
Oh, we just played Philly in the Brotherly
Yes.
Love.
Right. Kind of fitting,
Okay.
but this you're gonna like this.
Okay.
I just want you to look at it. Why don't you go ahead, even before I pour it? Why don't you give it to the beer can? All right.
Bum.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup. You like guacamole? Oh my goodness.
Name your favorite dinosaur on 3. Velociraptor.
You might not be able to see it real clear, but it's signed by Randy Jackson. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for this. I don't care if this is awful.
Yes.
I don't care if it's awful.
It's already my favorite. It's called Brother. It's again IPA. It is 7%. All these are 7%. It is. Then that's all I get. And then you just get a wonderful portrait. But I will get the name, and I apologize for it slipping my mind at the moment. But I will get the name of the organization that sent this in because they do like a Facebook group, and it's Fueled by Hops. Was it?
That sounds about right.
That was right. Like I will double check that just to make sure. But they sent in a whole care package, like super dope shirts, hats. Thank you guys so much for doing that.
Thank you very much.
And they sent a whole bunch of different beers that they picked, and they like curate beer lists. So they do a whole thing called, I believe it's Fueled by Hops. That's if I got that wrong, I will correct it in the description. All right, but thank you guys so much for bringing that in again.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you everybody for the questions. Thank you for the beers.
Yeah. So here's for you, my friend.
This is gonna be spectacular.
Yes, and
This is a little clogged tonight, just a little.
seems lighter.
Good.
Seems lighter than the other
Smells
ones.
good though.
The color.
Oh, it's got a unique finish as well.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you got there? Dragon?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Is that creamy?
Okay. Are we adding that to our list of things
I knew it,
never
bro.
to say on the show again?
I thought this was a safe space.
You're right. I apologize.
No, it was a weird question, bro. It was a weird question. But I mean, now it's like milky. What was that joint? Milk sugar.
Milk sugar.
That's not
There's
no
way
that
it's
no
milk
no no
sugar.
that's in what is it? Sours, right? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
you're like
I guess
the
I see what you're
savant now.
saying.
Thank you.
I could see that.
It's
I could see
validated.
that. I don't want to
Right?
embarrass you and tell you there's no milky or creaminess to it.
It won't be the first or last time I do something.
I like this. Thank you guys. I love the can.
Yeah, the branding wins. I'll take some more of that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can give
yourself one. I'm gonna put it in the beer can.
Yeah, and then we'll jump back into these questions.
Thank you, Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan, looking out. Brendan always looking out.
Always looking out.
Thanks, Brendan. Boom.
What are those two gentlemen are?
I don't know.
If you're one of those two gentlemen, let us know who you are.
Yeah. Am I gonna lie? That fool on the bottom, that kind of looks like me, doesn't it? That's kind of another
one on the top doesn't look like me, so it's not us.
Right. Well, we do have that.
We do have a picture up there of us.
We'll show that sometime. Yeah.
Oh, I should get the blanket out over there.
Get the blanket. Oh, do you have that? Really?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, let's jump into more of these
give me more
these fan cues.
Come on, White. My Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah, I'm jumping into this as well. This is a little golf question.
Ooh,
little golf.
This.
Yeah. This is from Michael.grinder.1. I'm guessing Grinder. What's your golf handicap and what's your favorite course that you've ever played?
My handicap depends if I'm gambling on the golf course, which I do not do. I am about a 1 handicap. And my favorite course that I've ever played would have to be the course known as Augusta National. I have been blessed to play there a few times, and it is incredibly special, as anyone can imagine. I don't even know if you're allowed to even talk about it. So
really,
if I said something wrong, I'm just joking. I never played there. But I have been incredibly lucky to play a lot of really good golf courses, and I think we've got a couple of the best ones in the world or the country here in Laurel Valley and Oakmont. I was lucky. My wife, for my 30th birthday, got me a trip to Ireland and Scotland to play golf over there, and obviously the home. So I played St. Andrews. Played a couple courses over there, so that was really cool just because of the history and the tradition of it. So just a lot of really good. I think Sage Valley is one of the best courses around. I just got done. I just played recently. I played Pikewood down in West Virginia, which is really cool. What a beautiful walk and beautiful scenery there. So just super lucky. Now I'm lucky that Benjamin plays because we get a chance to go play together. There's some great waters down in Georgia is awesome. So very, very lucky to get to play a lot of great courses.
I want to ask so many Augusta questions, but I don't want to air you out. So we'll do that off camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on, and this is a little bit of little memory, going down memory lane. Multiple people are curious. So there's not just one person to shout out, but what are your thoughts on that Jesse James catch? You know what I'm talking about. When he catches it, reaches over, end zone.
Oh.
Say he didn't get it.
Didn't get it. That was against the Patriots? Mm-hmm. Oh, surprise.
So those are your thoughts? Those are your thoughts?
I wonder why that didn't count. I don't. Sometimes.
So good.
Sometimes those bad memories just get washed out. So I don't really remember. I remember thinking, yeah, see, this is where I need like someone like Charlie or Ryan in here to like walk me through it because it would like jog things,
I was just about to say, I'm like, Charlie could probably tell you.
Oh, for sure. Charlie told me he'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
Charlie, thanks for coming on the show. Come back.
Yeah, Charlie, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought, and then we'll go to review and you're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's good. And then it wasn't, and stupid.
I think, yeah.
Stupid. Great effort by Jesse. I remember that.
I didn't mean to bum you out, man. I think we have to chalk that one up to you win some, you lose some. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So obviously, 17 games now, right? You had 16, 8 of those games. You traveled to a different city. Was there ever? What city had the best food? This is coming from Creo G17. Were you like a big like, hey, I'm in the city, let me go grab like the local fave?
Sometimes. Early on in my career, I would take the lineman to dinner. Like whenever we got there.
That's how you get protected, young quarterbacks.
Yeah, we would go to like a nice steakhouse or a place that was kind of cool that we would enjoy going to. But then it got kind of like I think they would start getting annoyed because people would want to come get autographs and pictures, and they would just get annoyed with it. So I stopped doing that just because I wanted to just be at the hotel and just kind of more relaxed.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed. Most of the time you'd get to enjoy the local flavor after the game.
Sure.
Okay. So after the game, you go to get on the bus, to get on the plane, and they would have kind of whatever the local thing was, right? So, in Philly, you might get a Philly cheesesteak, which, yes. Love the Philly cheesesteak. I always enjoyed Mission Barbecue after Baltimore. I think they're maybe where they originated or something.
Are they?
I think I'm not positive.
You didn't get like crab cakes or something?
We would usually get crab cakes the night before in the hotel.
All right.
But I always enjoyed getting the food after the game from kind of local, get wings in Buffalo, things like that. So yeah, it was delightful to get some of that stuff.
No favorite though. No, like
the cheesesteaks of Philly.
Yeah, I mean it's hard.
I know it's the other side of the state, and I know we don't really like those.
Listen,
Philadelphia.
I don't care if
cheesesteak.
I don't care if you beat us by 50 points. You make a good cheesesteak. It is what it is. All right. Did you ever? What was your this is from N Vasil J32. Do you have a welcome to the NFL moment? You always hear about those. Maybe when you get lit up for the first time, or someone runs you down and gets sacked. Do you have one of those? I know it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was forever ago. You know what? I'll tell you this. There's a story. I'm not sure people might know, people might not know. This is my first game in Baltimore, the one where I had to come in and replace Tommy. And we were, people don't remember, we actually had a chance to go win it at the end of the game. Yeah. We had the ball. We're kind of putting together a 2-minute drive. And back then, our 2-minute offense was like play 1, play 2, play 3, play 4, play 5. Like you would call like that, play 6, 7, 8, 9. And what we would do is on play 10, instead of going 10, because this would be 5, right? We go 10, 10, 10. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, right. 10. So I, being a rookie, we're putting together a little bit of a drive. And I remember looking out to the receiver, like calling the play and going 10, 10, 10, 10.
No.
So I threw it like I was throwing 10, but he saw 5. Oh. And so it got intercepted, and I think either turned for a touchdown or something. That kind of made it, I think it blew the game out, like made it look worse than it was.
Right.
But that was one where I had to learn really quick, like, you can't, like that is like the little details that matter the most. And so, the old tenor.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, hey, man.
Yep.
Well, this is kind of a more, I want to say loaded one, but probably requires a little bit more explanation. But I'll be 31, which is funny now I'm saying it out loud. I'll be 31, but it's I'll be like Al, B-I-E 31. Is wondering, as you're building these relationships with these guys on the team, how tough is it when a guy like maybe Heath Miller or Pouncey retires for you? So hard, because you develop that friendship for such a long period of time. Mm-hmm. Heath was actually a roommate of mine for a while, and obviously Pouncey is my center. Just the special relationships that you form, which we talked about before, which sometimes is why it's hard to develop that friendship because you don't know how long guys are going to be there. Right. But some guys are going to be there for when Heath hung it up, I remember I was like, no, you cannot go. Same thing with Pounce. But it's tough because there's just such a bond and a brotherhood and a love, like literally love. Like I love those guys. I'd run through a wall for Pounce or Heath or Moan or Dave or Al. There's guys like that, Jayco, and many, many more. But it's tough to see those guys go because you never envision playing without them. Yeah. Even though I came in before both those guys, when you're together, you're like, I'm never going to play without you. When I remember to Pounce, I'm never playing without you. And that's why I try to get him to come back one more year. But it's one of the hardest things to do is to play this game without those guys that you just really have just like a love and a bond for. Right. Yeah, man. I can imagine how difficult that would be. This is from... Well, here you go. One more. Oh. One more. These are, which I'm not a big fan. Put it on the camera quick. Oh, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds. But Ashley made them. I'm not a huge pumpkin seed fan, but she made them, so I'm going to try them. But they're supposedly spicy or like hot and spicy or something. I love pumpkin seeds. Do you? Okay, we'll put them right here. That was like a tradition every year.
Whatever. So anyway, so that's the end of our snacks for the night.
Hey, man. It's a good one to end on, I feel like.
I'm going to try my first one. Unless you want to open those.
Oh, well,
Maybe.
keep it going.
The night is young. People want 3 hours. They want 4 hours. Give me 4.
24-hour live stream.
Okay, give me another one.
This is from Will Kolowinski.
By the way, do you eat the whole thing? You just pull the thing around and just chew it?
I do, brother. I don't know how you're supposed
There's
to.
not like a thing. There's not like a C where you crack it and eat it.
No, dog. This is how I get down. If I led you astray, I led you astray.
Huh.
Will Kolowinski. I'm sorry. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Your last home game, you beat the Browns in Heinz back when it was Heinz. Yeah. What was it like to hear the "Thank You, Ben" chants during that game? That happened, honestly, every 20 minutes.
This is why I had to keep my glasses on, because I'd probably get emotional.
I won't cry. I won't tell anybody if you cry.
I did cry many times.
I know. I was there.
And have cried about it since. It was truly something else. That whole experience, that whole night, beating the Brownies. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, I know I've beat them a million times, but that one more was just something special. Just having teammates there and having the fans doing that and cheering and staying there forever, having my family on the field. It just seeing that big sign, "Thank you, Ben." I mean, it was so surreal, so special. It's the way that if anybody could ever imagine or draw up the way they want to like end their career of any sport like that's the most picture perfect ending of all time. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard to even put into words. Like at some point, maybe I'll write something down or make something about it. But it was one of the most special nights, and to do it at Heinz with those fans and the signs and the people chanting and all the stuff. It made my career, like that gave the exclamation point to my career in that stadium with these people who I think are the best fans of sports. And it just, I don't know. It's just, I can't even describe what it meant.
Yeah. It was it felt like an actual movie being there.
Yeah. And walking through the tunnel at the end with my family, just everything about it was surreal. Yeah.
That moment back there, all of us cried.
Yeah.
Everybody there was crying. Was it weird having such that moment was like the end of Rudy and Remember the Titans. Like it was everything. Like it was everything you wanted to be. Was it weird having then to go to Baltimore for one more regular season, and then that was a crazy game too, and then going to Kansas City in the playoffs? Was it weird to have to how did you do that?
Yeah, it's tough because part of me was like, man, this is the perfect way to end it.
Right.
Like to really be done. But to go back to Baltimore where I started, like I played my first ever game.
Yeah, dog.
To play my last game and then beat them with like us going down and winning it, I think in overtime or whatever it was, but basically leading them down to win the game. That was pretty special too. But it's not like Sunday, was it Monday night or Sunday at Heinz, that night game? Man, that was just something else. But it still was pretty sweet going to Baltimore and winning too.
Yeah.
And then obviously, going to Kansas City was like, at that point, it was just kind of like, man, I don't know what else can happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was really cool, really special. So
yeah, what a crazy
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, man. I just think about that. Like, so many people come through the league and they have these careers, and you make movies about the ones that like end like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy that God gave you. Yeah. No, it was 100% a movie. So I was actually able to film that entire last season, and to be on the field for that game. Like, you knew it was special going in, but I mean, nobody could have imagined that the ending would have ended up the way that it ended up. I mean, the footage that I have of that, I remember coming back the next day. I looked at it that night. That footage, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a movie. This is 100%, like unedited. You could just play it in order and it would be a movie. Yeah. It was unreal.
We had so many people there. I mean, we had 2 suites full of like friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, it was just.
Well, and I didn't know this, obviously, because I was there, but they didn't cut the broadcast. So I don't know when they ended up doing it, but they just, when you went around the field and then like you had like 53 people or something come out like of the tunnel, like friends and family. I was like, oh man, cool. That was unreal.
So thankful. Thank you to all the fans that were there, that were a part of that, the well wishes, the signs, the love, the claps, all that stuff. It was just, thank you.
I mean, I don't know how you top that, but I'll try with this one. And this was actually asked by a couple of people. What was that conversation like with Jerome when you're sitting him down, you're like trying to convince him to come back for one more year, and you promise him you're going to win a Super Bowl as a young buck?
Idiot.
Right. What was that like?
It was, at the moment, it was total letdown. Like, I let this man down.
Wow.
This guy is a legend. He meant so much to me, to this city, to the people here, this organization. Just such an amazing person. And I felt like it was my fault that we lost.
Wow.
That I let him down, even though we were playing the Patriots during Spygate. We'll let that go. But I remember sitting there, and I don't even know why. I don't know what I was thinking, because that's so dumb to say, if you come back, I promise you we'll get you a Super Bowl. Like, so stupid.
How old were you then?
I mean, I've been 2004, yeah, 22.
And you're sitting there looking this absolute legend in the eye.
And he's probably looking at me like, get out of here, rookie. Like, just leave. Like, this is my swan song. Get out of here. You're ruining it. But I was just like, it was just kind of what I felt like. I got to tell him, I got to do something to get him to come back, because I felt I would have been robbed to only have 1 year with him. Right. Like, he was just so special. And luckily, I don't know if it was me. I doubt it was me that convinced him to come back. But I'm glad he did, to win him a Super Bowl in Detroit, his home town. That was just, man, that was surreal. What
did Tomlin call it? Football justice?
Football justice.
Yeah, football justice seems like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that still blows my mind. That again, I think about, and I told this to you before, like, I think about the way that you left Heinz. I think about the way that Jerome went out. Like, you've been a part, I think about even, and this is actually a good segue to this next question. It's like, I even think about, the Super Bowls that you've won. I'm like, man, the average career for somebody in the league is 3.5 years, 3.3 or something like that.
Yeah,
right. And God's blessed you with this storybook career with these moments that, like, one of those moments would be like, dude, I got to win a Super Bowl with Jerome Bettis. Yeah. That alone is like, what a crazy career. And now you have all these ones. And there's been a handful of people that are curious. Do you have a Super Bowl that is your favorite based upon circumstances or plays involved?
Probably the 43, the one in Tampa, just because, and we've talked about it on here, as a quarterback, throwing the pass to win it is what you dream. What I did as a kid at home in the street. Mm-hmm. So to throw it, to win it, to drive your team down, it doesn't get any better than that.
Is that your absolute favorite play of all time that you've played?
I mean, probably. I mean, there might, just because of the situation. I've had better passes, I've had better games, but
sure,
that the situation made it what it is.
If you had to pick your favorite play that you've been a part of, and it couldn't be that one, do you have one in mind?
You know what? There's been a couple like game winners that have been pretty special. We had the one at home against Baltimore. It was Thanksgiving or Christmas where AB reached across the end zone. Mm-hmm. We had one at Baltimore where Santonio Holmes caught. I scrambled around and caught it around the goal line to win the game. Mike Wallace caught one at home against Green Bay with no time left and threw a 30-yard pass to him right on the front pylon. Mike, he's known for his speed and literally just catching go balls and running literally by everybody as fast as he can. It's unbelievable how fast he was. He makes a play on the sideline, like toe tap, like just what maybe isn't his specialty, I have to say. But the dude makes a play to win the game for us, and it put me over 500 yards passing, and we won it. So any of those like winning the game like that are pretty cool. Obviously, the tackle in Indianapolis to help Jerome win the first one. those are all things that kind of stick out to me.
What was going through your mind during that tackle? Right, because Jerome fumbles that. He has got a shoe in, he fumbles it, and it's just you, dog.
Everyone's like, listen, this man's going to score.
Right.
Guarantees, 100% he's going to score. And I didn't carry out my fake because I want to watch him score. Luckily, I didn't. Coach Cower. Carry out your fake all the time. But I remember seeing that ball pop out. It was like slow motion. I'm like, no way. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, go, like try and fall on it. And it felt like it just went like a basketball, like boing, and bounced right up to the guy. I'm like, how does it bounce just that perfect right to the guy? It probably didn't, but that's what it appeared like to me. And I was like, no way. And so then it's like, okay, it's like fight or flight. Like, what am I going to do?
Right.
And I realized at the moment like this can't happen to Jerome. He can't go out this way. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, he's the man, the myth, the legend, and he can't go out fumbling the ball.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I'm the fastest guy on our team on the field. That's very scary. That's not a good thing. When I'm now I was younger, a little more athletic, but still, when I'm the fastest guy on the field, that's not good. And so it's like, okay, start retreating and find a way to buy as much time as you can to make the play. And then I just started thinking, okay, try and because he's faster than you, you're never going to catch him. So try and outsmart him or make him pick a side, slow him down, do something. So I kind of like turn like this and then turn back this way and like just trying to like make him like zigzag or weave or slow down. And I remember I did it and I went to turn back and I'm like, it's now or never. Like, I got to shoot my gun. And so I just went and I just like grabbed a hold of his foot, I think, and just held on. And was able to kind of stumble him, and then the rest of the posse came and jumped on him, but it was just enough. I mean, the game still wasn't over. They had Vanderjack, I think is his name at the time, who was a really good kicker. I mean, they drove down the field and had a chance to still win it, and he missed the field goal. So, it was crazy. It was just a lot of thoughts through my head. Yeah,
that's one of those tackles, man, where it's like, again, I'm gonna keep beating this dead horse. It's a movie, bro. It's an absolute movie. It's a literal shoestring tackle, dude.
That one is for sure.
That was insane to me, bro. That's wild, man. That is absolutely wild. So, we can land this plane whenever you're ready, but there are a handful more that
keep going for a little bit.
Yeah, man.
It's just halftime now, so I don't care.
Oh, it's tight, bro. So let's transition a little bit to some of your other interests. You know, I guess winning Super Bowls and throwing touchdowns is probably what you're best known for, and I know you enjoy doing that. But you also like a good hunt.
I do like hunting.
Right? You like to bring down a good animal, right? Eat a good deer steak. What do you prefer? And this is from Meltonic 11. Do you prefer hunting with a bow or a rifle, and why? I'm
an archery hunter. I like the bow. I think the challenge is so incredible with archery hunting. To shoot an animal with a rifle, if I'm going to do that, it's got to be 500 plus yards up to 1,000. I'd rather do, it's 750,000 yards. That way it's a challenge. The archery thing, it's got to be 60 yards and in. They can smell you. They can see you at that distance. And where at 150, 200 yards, they're not doing any of that stuff. So it's just such a challenge to hold the bow up and put that pin on it and squeeze the release is just such a really an amazing, complicated. It's almost like a dance when you're out there with them. You're out there and the wind has to be just right. Your smell has to be just right. You're waiting for them to get the right distance. They have to turn just right. Everything has to be perfect, and then you have to make the perfect shot. So, I really enjoy bow hunting and the challenge of it.
What kind of bow you use?
I actually use a Matthews. Thank you, Matthews, for everything.
Yeah, some people have been asking for
the Howland 32 is what I use right now from Mr. Levi Morgan himself, who I was texting with earlier, who invited me to Illinois.
Interesting.
To go hunt whitetail. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can make it there. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. And it's very interesting you would even mention Levi Morgan because you've had a lot of people ask when he might make an appearance on this show of yours.
Levi, when you coming on, Bob? Let's go. Well, the hard part is hunting season right now.
I know. You're going to have to get him out the woods, man.
I'm going to pull him literally out of the woods with his camo on.
He's going to come here with the face.
Yeah. We'll get him on. I promise. We'll get him on here.
That would be a cool episode, man. All right. Let's keep this thing going. So growing up in Ohio, did you have Ohio teams? Because Sarah Nicholson, 85, asked, what was your favorite NFL team growing up?
Growing up, I was a 49er fan.
Talk about it. Yes, sir.
Because I was blessed to grow up in a time when they were Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott and all those guys. So I was a Niner fan. And I didn't, grow up in Ohio. I actually didn't like the Ohio teams because I knew I was going to be a Steeler someday and I was going to have to play against them.
Talk about it. Yes, sir.
No, I just, I knew that, I think whenever I like to kind of go against the grain sometimes. So everyone liked those teams so much that I was like, I'm going to like someone else. And so then it just went to natural, the Niners.
Did Joe Montana make you want to be a quarterback? Because I feel like for your size, you probably had a lot of different options.
No, my dad did.
Okay.
My dad was a quarterback and I wanted to be like him.
Oh, tight.
So that's why I did that.
And then what was the, because you were 7 because of Elway, what was the transition from Joe Montana to Elway?
Well, that class, right? Elway, Montana, Marino, Kelly. I mean, I had their posters on my wall.
Yeah.
And it's just what it was.
Right.
And so I wore 7 because of Elway. My mom liked the Broncos, so I wore that. And I just idolized all those guys.
Mm-hmm. I remember one of the first times I was sitting in your office, you had that Joe Montana thing. I was like, an autograph picture of Joe Montana. I grew up a Niners fan too. And I was like, hey, bro, you got all, by the way, in your office has the jerseys you wore in the Super Bowls, the Super Bowl Lombardi. It's it's all these amazing memorabilia. I saw the one, the Joe Montana. I was like, yo, is that a Joe Montana?
That's the one you cared about. I know.
Yes. Well, that and the Michael Jackson, of course.
Yeah.
So that was awesome, man. 49. So was it ever weird playing the Niners? Like the first time you played the Niners? What did that feel like?
No, it wasn't like I wanted to play. Like I didn't care even to play. I just liked them growing up.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I'm playing the team that I grew up. Like, it wasn't like that or anything.
I always thought about that because you have Miles Sanders and the for the Eagles.
Yeah,
he's a Pittsburgh. That's
a different story. Like growing like Charlie Batch last week, right? Talking about going to Detroit and then coming back home. Like it was different. Like if I would have got drafted there, I would have been like, yes, finally I'm playing for the Niners. It wasn't like that. It was just I liked watching them because of those guys,
But was your first game a Browns game, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. But I only went to one NFL game ever growing up, and it was Browns Bills.
Wow,
the old Cleveland Stadium. Kelly was, Jim Kelly, all that. So yeah, that's the only NFL game I ever went to.
So when you had the opportunity in the draft to get drafted by the Browns, you don't would it feel like a slight, like I'm Ohio cat?
That did a little bit. I really thought that, okay, listen, I'm Ohio. I thought for sure I'd have a chance to go there.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't, to be honest. But I thought I was. And when they didn't, I was like, really? Like I'm Ohio and you have a chance to take me and you didn't? So, all right, I'll beat you 30 sometimes.
Dude, listen.
Or however many times it's been.
Listen, you have enough records and accolades to fill the rest of this podcast. But my favorite of all time accomplishments that you've had was when you were the winning most quarterback at the Browns Stadium.
I was. I at one point was the most winning quarterback in Cleveland Browns Stadium.
You played for the team, man.
That's a pretty cool little feat. I put that on my wall.
Yeah, that is amazing. So we talked about faith a little bit earlier as we're telling the people how we know each other. And it's really cool, man, to see the faith community come around this podcast and chime in. And they're curious if you have a favorite Bible verse. And if you do, what would that be?
Wow.
Yeah.
I get asked this a lot.
I do feel like it's hard to pick one.
It is so hard. And I don't always, but I go back to, I have a Bible verse on my foot, a tattoo.
Yeah.
Psalm 37:24, though he stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. I just think that's just one. I don't think, it doesn't get talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of better ones. Everyone, has their feelings on stuff. And I just feel like that's so powerful because we're all going to stumble. Yeah. We all fall. We all sin. We all do whatever. But God lifts us up.
Yeah,
and we're so lucky to have that. And so that just means a lot to me. Like I said, it's so hard to pick one. I mean, literally every time I get asked that, I could pick a different Bible verse and be like, oh yeah, winner. So I'll stick with that one just because we're talking to the fans here, and that's what I have.
Yeah, and I feel like that changes with the season too, man. You know what I mean? There's sometimes when I'm in Romans, I'm like, that's it. That's getting tatted on immediately, and the next week it's like,
well, you get in the Book of James, and it's like, yep.
I do know somebody though has what is it? 3rd John, whichever one's the shortest book in the Bible. It has it like the entire one tattooed on his side.
Really?
I know one of my homies that has that, and I thought like, that's commitment, man. If you don't have that book memorized, like if someone quotes the scripture out of the entire book that you have tattooed on your side, you better know where that's from. Yeah, you can't be like, where's that? No, 100%.
My favorite verse is Ruth 3:1.
Something in Leviticus. I'm a big fan of Levitical law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Judges numbers?
Numbers, yes. so when you gave your, earlier on, when you gave your non-job interview to be an offensive coordinator, and I say that because I felt like you broke it down. Obviously, anybody that watch you play at any amount of games sees you calling play, especially in the no huddle stuff. Jeffrey Lockhart 02 wanted to know, Jeffrey wanted to know what percentage of the plays, and I know this is probably varies, but what percentage of the plays would you call on the field?
During the no huddle or just in general?
Just in general. And is it situational? Is it,
Yeah, it'd be situational. It'd be if we're in the no huddle, like if we're moving, like whether we're struggling or whatever, in the no huddle, I'm calling 98% of them. I mean, there might be a time where a coach would chime in on, hey, Ben, think about this.
Yeah.
But in the regular game, it all depends on which coordinator too. If you're moving and grooving with BA, you might not be calling much because it's not necessary.
Sure.
And it doesn't always mean it's necessary. Just sometimes is what we'd go into games saying, hey, listen, second series, we're going no huddle. We're going to roll with it because this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So in those situations, it was probably 50% or so. It's hard to answer that because it could vary so much depending on the game, depending on the situation, depending obviously if you're winning, then you're not calling plays because you're gonna huddle, you're gonna take your time. So there were some games where I was calling quite a bit, to be honest. And then some games where maybe I didn't call anything. And it's hard because sometimes, like I talked about earlier, you'd get a check with me. Yeah. And where a coach would send in 2 plays and you had to determine which one you were going to call off of what the defense was giving you. So am I calling the play? Kinda, but yet it was kind of it kind of came in
team effort.
Yeah. So and I, like I said, when I was in the no huddle, when we talked about this with Charlie, I took so much from those other quarterbacks. Yeah. When we come to the sideline, they would be like, Ben, I like this. What do you think? Or I'd ask them, what do you think about this? And we would have dialogue. So it was all of us together. So and there would be times that and I wish I had a specific example, but there would be times that one of the quarterbacks on the sideline would be like, hey, Ben, next time you get down to like the red zone, think about like this play because they're giving you this. And I would call it and throw a touchdown on it. Dang. And be like, that's you. Yeah, man. That's you. So those are fun moments.
Did you prefer calling it, or was it nicer to have like, hey man, someone's seeing something now, just give it to me?
Both, to be honest. I loved the majority of the time. I liked calling it because this is how I explain football to people. The game of football is like a game of chess. Okay, where both coordinators, the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, are using us like pawns in a way. The offensive coordinator is calling the play in sort of a guessing a little bit on what the defense is going to do based on tendencies. What have they done in the past? Defensive coordinator is calling a defense off of what he thinks the offense is going to do off of tendencies. So you're doing a lot of guessing in a way. Now you might guess right, or you might even know like, okay, they kind of like this, so there's a good chance I can call this that could stop both things. Okay, so when you're doing that, and then the play comes into the quarterback calls the play, guessing a little bit about what the defense is going to give you.
Right.
Defensive coach calls in the play to his play caller, the linebacker, whoever's calling it, and then he calls the defense according to what the offense might be running. It is a little bit of a guessing game. The difference is when the quarterback is calling. Gosh, I ripped the mic out. What the difference is when the quarterback is calling it, it's less guesswork and it's more what I see. So now I'm calling. I'm not guessing what the defense might be doing. I'm calling something off what I'm seeing the defense doing. So you can get yourself in a better play because you're actually seeing it and you can predict it a little bit better.
Very interesting.
So that's kind of the interesting part, or the different part about actually calling the plays while you're actually doing it. And so I enjoyed doing that because I enjoyed having the freedom to call whatever. I enjoyed feeling it out on the field. Like, okay, so-and-so has a hot hand. One of our receivers, he's feeling it right now. I'm getting him the ball however I can. Yeah. Or maybe the line's a little bit tired. Maybe I need to, get the ball out quick, or maybe I need to run a naked, where a boot or naked, where I'm getting out of the pocket where they don't have to block as long. Maybe they're telling me, hey, Ben, the D-line is gassed. We need to just pound them right now.
Yeah.
So there's so much that you can do that you can't. If those guys were telling me that information in a regular game, I'd have to go to the sideline and tell coach for the next series. But now it's completely different.
Right.
So to be able to feel it, maybe the running back is like, right now he's just in a groove. Give him the ball. Or maybe he's tired. Okay, I'm going to keep you in and not even have you block, or let you run like a little flare route just to, listen, you can't go out the game, but I'm going to let you run this just to get your gas.
Right.
And so I really enjoyed it. Now, there were times, though, that like maybe the defense has just got you. They got your number. They're confusing you, whatever it may be, where you're like, hey, coach, come on now, give me something. You got to give me something. You got to call it. You got to do it, or third and long. Like, I got nothing. Help me out. So there is a little bit of both of that.
Would you find that in those times that you were calling the plays, that you could feel the disorganization of the defensive coordinator?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They get very, very vanilla, very plain when you're going up tempo, because there's only so much they can call. They can't get so complicated. They can't get a lot going. And so you were able to kind of predict what they were going to do.
Sure.
And the blitzing kind of cut down, like a lot of things cut down. So it was, that's why I liked it. You could just, you could eat them up.
At what level do you have a guy on the defensive side of the ball, though, doing the same thing? Or does that not happen as much?
Not as much. I mean, they've got to call it a little bit when you're just going up tempo, but it's not the same thing.
So, and this is just because I'm naive, why not put more energy into training a quarterback to be able to do that? Is that such a workload that it's unrealistic?
The quarterback has to understand the offense. He's got to have some experience with the defense, like understanding what it takes. So there is definitely there's more to it than just being like, listen, we're gonna spend all week studying the huddle so you can do that, because there's more to it than just that. The guy needs some experience too.
Is that something that you were able to do out the gate as a rookie, or over time?
No, it's over time, because you have to learn defenses. You have to learn tendencies of defenses. When's the right time to throw a pass? When's the right time to run the ball? Because you can't just throw it every time, and you can't just run it every time. You got to have a feel of the game. And I pride myself a little bit in having a feel of the game.
Yeah. Well, that's a great segue over to Greg Salvanich. Greg Salovanchik he wanted to know, in your opinion, what season of your career did you play your best football?
Oh, that's interesting, because I think late in my career, I was playing my best between the years. I understood things. I was able to call it, see it, and really the game slowed down. But early on, I was probably the most athletic, able to run and move and make things happen, but I wasn't as smart and knowing everything. So right in the middle, like that 08, 7, 8, 9, 10 eras. Yeah. We had some really good teams, some good players around me, but it just felt like things were clicking, like I was able to do it and able to see it. It was kind of a combination of being smart enough to figure it out, but also physical enough to make things happen when I needed to.
Dang, man. Yeah, I feel like that Venn diagram space probably felt so good when you hit the groove, right?
Once you understood it, it was nice.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. So we're almost, dude, we might give the fans another long. We're at $1:43 right now.
Holy
Look
cow.
at us. Time flies when you're having fun, folks.
I thought we were going to have like a 45-minute show tonight.
Yeah, you did say that.
I thought it was going to be a short one.
Yeah. So did I.
7 o'clock.
I legitimately left my house. I was like, hey, I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That was not a good move.
But dude, I feel like.
Well, let's do one or two more. Is there like one or two more? Is there anything let's do one or two more?
Yeah, man. Well, here's a quick one. Okay. And then you want to just do 2 lighthearted ones?
Sure.
Yeah. We'll land his plane.
We can do this again sometime.
Yeah. I think it'd be a cool occurrence, man, because I think obviously we can't get through them all.
Right.
But, over time, we might be able to take a good chunk out of this. This is just B Monroe 01 wants to know, obviously tasting beers is a big part of our show. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite Pittsburgh brewery?
Oh, I don't know. No. Well, is Yuengling considered?
Pottsville. I don't know if it's Pittsburgh.
It's not Pittsburgh. Shoot.
No, I guess you can say that, but like just like a favorite local brewery.
I enjoy Yuengling. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say no, I don't. because I'm still learning about the Pittsburgh breweries, and I would like to know more. Because if I just said like, oh, I have one right now and it's this, then I'll be like, I don't know them well enough. So I'm not going to say that yet until I experience more of them.
Yeah.
And once I experience more of them, I will have a favorite.
Yeah, that's great. I will say this. I got to take you to Cinderlands. I know we've had
Cinderlands before,
but there's Cinderlands joint it's the brewery in the Strip District.
Yeah.
It's legit. The food's amazing.
I would like that.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Cinderlands, can we come?
Yeah. Can we come through? Eat some good eats. Okay, so actually I'll do two because there's two more, and then because I feel like this one would be rather quick. But Z Miller FLA wants to know your favorite Tomlinism.
Oh,
I'm going to add on to that. How many Tomlinisms does he actually have?
1 billion.
Okay, and they're always populating. He's just got new ones.
I think it's gotten to the point. Like at first when he did them,
yeah,
that's just my opinion.
By the way, I love it. The Tomlinism.
I'm sure most people do.
love them.
As a player, you're just like, there we go. Because then you find yourself saying them without even like meaning to. Like I've never ever said it is what it is until like it just becomes like, oh yeah, let's say it every time. Or
I guess the standard is the standard.
Is the standard. Yeah. You know, take the field. There's just so many. It's kind of now I think, and even I had to think the public and the media, like everyone knows it's kind of a little bit of a joke, right? Like, I mean, it's not all.
He knows that though, right? He
has to.
Okay.
He has to.
Tomlin could give a TED talk on how to dodge the media. And that's why I love it, because he'll go in there dead serious. Exactly. He'll go in there dead serious and he'll answer the question, but he's an intelligent guy. He knows what he's doing.
He's smart. Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
And the media they get so mad, and they everyone knows it. They
love it.
They know when he starts talking, he will ramble on and on. You're like, wait, what was the question?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
He knows he's playing chess with those words,
he's
man.
No dummy.
My man.
Yeah.
So you don't have one that stands out?
No, I don't know.
Right,
it is what it is. I always say that now.
That's a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, bro. So, and this one, final one is, I know how much you dislike trying to pick favorites, but the people want to know, multiple people, if you had to throw to one wide receiver, or it could be tight end, whatever. If you had to throw to one receiver for the rest of your life, who would it be? Other than me, because I was really good in my church league.
I believe it. I would probably it'd be close. It'd be a toss up. Okay, between two people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, and it just feels right.
Okay.
And this is going to cause quite a stir. I'll be honest.
Hey, get him, Dragon.
This will probably make all kinds of news and all kinds of media, and here we go. But this is our show, so this is what I'm going to say. The two people, if I could throw passes to for the rest of my life, would be Bodie Hunter Roethlisberger and Benjamin Roethlisberger Jr.
And I'll say this.
Boom.
Good hands. They
both
got good hands.
Good hands.
Yep.
Good hands, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's controversial, man.
It is. That's
brave of you to say, man.
I know.
Yeah.
But I know people will be like, oh, what? Honestly, if I was to pick like a Steeler, I would probably say Heath Miller.
Yeah,
that's my guy. I mean, he's also a good friend. He's just one of the best teammates that I've ever been around. Just a solid, salt of the earth kind of guy. So I'll pick Heath.
Yeah, but after Benjamin,
those two, he's number 3.
He's a good number 3.
Good number, solid good 3. He's a good 3. He's not quite good enough to be the backup, but he's a good 3.
That's amazing. Well, that is amazing, man. I just want to say thank you guys so much for getting your questions in. If I did not get to your question this episode, I apologize, but we will do this again. This was a blast. Happy Halloween, yes. Secondly. And I just want to encourage you guys to stay plugged in as well. Footballing with Ben on Instagram. Go ahead and subscribe to that if you have not already. Also, I want to let you know that on that Instagram page, we're doing giveaways. We are doing exclusive content, and it is where we post beer lists as well. So you can actually drink all the beers that we're drinking here along with us, because we dropped them the day before. Let's see here. You want to give some love real quick to Chorus? They don't sponsor us.
They don't sponsor us.
But it'd be cool if they did.
But it would be cool if they did.
That was some super Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused. It'd be a lot cooler if you did, man.
Hey, No sponsorships yet.
No.
We're waiting on Coors, Croc.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But no, thank you to all the fans that participated and sent questions in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a little different.
Yeah.
Just the two of us looking goofy as always with our shirts.
Yeah.
But thank you again to Creekside for all your help and everything you guys do. All the people that sent beers in, all the people that sent questions in. Thank you again to Coors Banquet. And
Yeah.
that's it, I guess.
Yeah, man. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking time to watch this, and we will see you guys next week.
Hopefully.
Yep.